Bluey is packed with heartwarming moments and fun adventures, but behind the playful stories are secret details that change everything you thought you knew. Buddy is one of those background characters who somehow manages to steal the spotlight without saying a word, and if there's one thing he's consistently known for, it's his love for, well, picking his nose. One of his weirdest moments happens in the episode Handstand, which is famous for the yogurt incident. Buddy, for some reason, decides he absolutely needs to get his hands on a yogurt jar, but instead of just asking for some, he goes full secret agent. He grabs a small ladder, sneaks up to the fridge, and dips his hand straight into the yogurt jar 5 times, without anyone noticing. He even sneaks outside every time to lick the yogurt off his fingers, like he's just pulled off the heist of the century. But every great mission has an end. When Chili finally puts the yogurt away, Buddy climbs up one last time, only to find the jar's gone. Just like that, his reign as the yogurt bandit is over. It was a good run, Buddy. You almost got away with it. Almost. Muffin isn't just Bluey's chaotic cousin. She's also living a secret double life. Turns out that she's a mini digital influencer. In one of the minisodes, she gets a free toy truck from a company. And not just as a regular gift, it's for a review. That means she's probably got a big enough audience for brands to notice her. And if you think about it, this actually makes a lot of sense. Muffin has a huge collection of Starlight unicorns, which seems to be a reference to My Little Pony. Those aren't cheap, and for a kid who's already getting free toys, it wouldn't be surprising if she's getting more than just a few gifts. Maybe sponsorships, maybe brand deals, maybe even an agent. If you've seen the Sign episode, you probably remember Bucky, the real estate agent doing everything he can to sell Bandit's house. But what most people don't realize is that this isn't Bucky's first appearance. In fact, Bandit has known him since childhood, and let's just say, they don't have the best history. In the episode Dragon, Bandit takes a trip down memory lane, showing moments from his past. One of those moments reveals why he stopped drawing as a kid. When he was 6, he loved drawing cars. But one day, a classmate told him his cars didn't actually look like cars. That classmate, Bucky. That one comment hit Bandit so hard that he gave up drawing cars altogether. And here's where it gets interesting. Bandit himself later mentions that Bucky grew up to be a real estate agent. And judging by the way he says it, he's not a fan. Fast forward to the episode The Sign, and every time Bandit talks to Bucky, his expression shifts. It's not just about selling the house, it's about the fact that this is the guy who made him give up something he once loved. So, while Bucky is busy selling homes, Bandit is out here remembering the time his dreams got crushed. That's gotta be awkward. Winton's dad, Cornelius, is one of those characters who doesn't say much, but if you look closely, his life tells a whole story. And honestly, it's kind of a wild one. First off, Winton doesn't even know where his dad lives. The only thing he's sure about, Cornelius has a pool. And weirdly enough, that pool is a big deal, and his story doesn't stop there. Throughout the series, we see Cornelius in some pretty interesting situations. In the episode Dance Mode, there's a scene where a dog in sunglasses is flirting with someone near the post office. Later, in the episode The Quiet Game, that same dog is out on a date with Cornelius. So clearly, Winton's dad has a bit of a dating life. And then things get even stranger. In that same scene, Cornelius gives money to a terrier sitting on the sidewalk. Seems random, right? But here's the twist. That terrier is likely the father of the 3 terrier pups who go to school with Bluey. And later on, Cornelius actually ends up dating the pups' mom. The pups even mention that their mom likes Winton's dad. So to sum it up, Cornelius has a pool, a mysterious home, a complicated love life, and possibly stepkids. Winton is one of those kids who always seems to be in the background, but if you watch closely, you'll notice something interesting. He really likes Coco. The little bulldog has tried to get close to her multiple times, but there's just one problem. Coco doesn't seem interested at all. They play together in several episodes, hanging out with their classmates, but whenever Winton tries to get a little closer, Coco shuts him down. The best example of this happens in the Stories episode. Instead of encouraging him, she actually scolds him, telling him to behave. Not exactly a sign that she's interested, and honestly, this isn't too surprising. If we look at Winton's dad, Cornelius, his love life hasn't exactly been smooth sailing either, but at least he seems to have found his happy ending. Maybe there's hope for Winton too, or maybe he'll just have to accept that Coco is not the one. Either way, we'll be watching. Out of all the things that should probably never be found in the Healer house, cabbage is at the top of the list. We learn in the Chicken Rat episode that Bandit has a, let's say, interesting reaction to sauerkraut. One bite of the fermented cabbage, and suddenly he's stuck in an endless loop of burping. But here's the thing, burping is just one way gas escapes. And if we connect the dots, this might finally explain why Bandit has a reputation for something far worse. Let's be honest, Bluey and Bingo have complained about their dad's stink bombs more than once. What if it's all because of his cabbage habit? It's a solid theory. There is too much cabbage and too much gas. And, well, the Healer house probably isn't the freshest smelling place on the block. Maybe this whole episode wasn't just about food. Maybe it was a warning that some vegetables should come with a hazard sign, especially when Bandit's involved. Mr. Monkeyjocks was one of those toys that had been through it all with Bluey and Bingo. But when Bandit noticed the growing pile of forgotten toys, he made an executive decision. Some had to go. So, in an effort to clear some space, he sent a few old ones off to a secondhand shop. That's where Mr. Monkeyjocks found his new home, or at least his next stop. By the end of the episode, we see him again, but this time he's with a little pup in a hospital bed. His mom pulls out the well-loved toy, saying she got it from a thrift store. But here's the kicker. This isn't just any random character. She's actually the same shop assistant from the Quiet Game episode, the one who once sold toys to Bandit and the girls. Yep, the same person Bandit likely bought toys from is now unknowingly in possession of one he once owned. And while we don't know why her pup is in the hospital, one thing is clear. He looks happier now with Mr. Monkeyjocks by his side. Maybe that toy was meant to stick around after all. Missy is one of Bingo's closest friends, but there's something about her that stands out. She's always been a little more nervous than the others. We see this in the episode Pirates, where she struggles to overcome her fears and join in on the game. It's a small moment, but it might actually hint at something bigger from her past. And in the episode Pass the Parcel, there's another scene that makes this theory even stronger. When Lucky's dad changes the game's rules, Missy doesn't just hesitate. She runs straight into her mom's arms, looking genuinely upset. That might not seem like much, except for one tiny detail. Missy is an Australian Terrier, but her mom is a Shiba Inu. And in Bluey, parents are always the same breed as their kids. So what does that mean? Well, Missy may not be with her biological parents. If she was adopted, it could explain why she's more anxious than the other pups. Maybe she didn't always have a stable home. That would make her journey in the Pirates episode even more meaningful. She's not just learning to be brave in a game. She's learning to trust that she belongs. There's a small but strange change in Bluey that might hint at something serious. In the first season, Bingo sits in a regular booster seat with the same seatbelt as Bluey. Nothing unusual there. But by the next season, things look different. Bingo now has a much stronger, more restrictive seatbelt, while Bluey stays the same. Why the sudden upgrade? It's not something the show ever explains, but it raises a big question. One possible reason is the Healer family may have had a scare on the road, maybe even a car accident. If Bingo had a habit of moving around too much or unbuckling herself, it could have led to a dangerous moment that made her parents take extra precautions. Of course, this is just speculation, but it does make you wonder. Maybe this change was just a small design update, or maybe, just maybe, Bingo learned the hard way why seatbelts are so important. Snickers, the dachshund with a head full of dreams, and a body that makes jumping a challenge, has a mom who appears in a few episodes. But here's something odd. His dad is nowhere to be seen. In Bluey, most kids look like a mix of their parents, but Snickers doesn't resemble his mom at all. This suggests he takes after his father, who has never been shown in the series. Every time Snickers' mom appears, she's always by herself. She even tries to catch the bouquet at Frisky and Rad's wedding, which is a big clue that she isn't currently married. So, where's Snickers' dad? Did he leave? Is he just really busy? Or is he off on some epic dachshund adventure? Until Bluey decides to spill the beans, Snickers remains the only sausage dog in his house. Unless his mom starts dating that long-bodied dog at the wedding. And those are just some of the hidden stories lurking in Bluey. Who knows what else we've missed? See you in the next one.